If you're pouring your heart into your YouTube channel, but you feel stuck with slow growth despite all your hard work, this video is for you. I'm Jeff Hampton, owner of two YouTube channels, Hampton Law and STR Law Guys, with more than 350,000 subscribers and 18 million views per month. In today's video, I'm sharing with you the game-changing advice from Patty Galloway, the YouTube consultant behind big brands like Mr. Beast and others. And this advice will, for me, and I believe it will for you, fundamentally transform your channel if you follow it. Miss this advice and you might spend another year spinning your wheels while others soar ahead. But with the right focus and these tips, this could be the year you finally break through. Number one, stop wasting your time on all the little details that do not move the needle for your channel. Let's be honest for a second. How many of us, and I include myself in this, obsess over every edit on our video, so much so that we spend hours trying to get it just perfect when more than 99% of viewers wouldn't even notice. Don't get me wrong, you want to create high quality content that satisfies your viewers. But if you major on the minors and you hyper focus on every little edit for your video, you'll end up getting burned out and quit YouTube, and you'll get very little payoff for all your work. Number two, study your YouTube analytics and find out exactly the performance of your videos in YouTube Studio, but be careful as you do it. Look, I have personally suffered from paralysis analysis from studying my analytics on my YouTube channel. And if you're not careful, you'll suffer from this too. What do I mean by this? Well, first of all, let me make this real clear. When you spend time in your YouTube analytics, when you go into your YouTube Studio, you should be measuring certain things with your videos. You should be looking at your average view duration. You want to increase the amount of time a viewer is watching your videos. That's important to know for viewer satisfaction. You also want to see the average percentage viewed. You want to know what percentage of the entire video was being watched on average by your viewers. That's important to see viewer satisfaction. And finally, you want to know the click-through rate. What is your packaging doing? How is it performing? If you're using a title and a thumbnail, is it doing well? You'll know that. If you're getting double-digit click-through rates, that means you're doing a good job with putting it out there so that way people are able to click on it and see your great content. But I want to warn you, this is where I suffered from going down the rabbit trail here of overanalyzing and hyper-focusing on these, and pretty soon you start making the wrong decisions and drawing the wrong conclusions from these metrics. What do we do instead? We focus on what Patty Galloway calls the channel critical areas to grow your YouTube channel. Number one, you are not spending anywhere near enough time on your packaging for your YouTube videos. I mean, in fact, as I sit here, I've got my conscience over here talking to me saying, Jeff, you know you don't spend anywhere near enough time on your titles and your thumbnails. First question, how are you currently doing your thumbnails? If you're creating a video and you record it and then you take a few minutes and you slap something together on Canva, don't be surprised when you put it out there and you launch your video if you get a 1% click-through rate and your video bombs. I hate to say it, but you have two choices here. One, you're going to either have to spend the money on education to learn how to create amazing thumbnails on your own, or number two, what I did, is pay a great thumbnail designer to help put together the packaging that's needed so that I don't run into a ceiling with my content. You say, wait a minute, Jeff, I don't want to spend the money on that. I already have all these other things to spend money on. Well, let me ask you this. Think about it. Does it really matter how great your content is if nobody ever clicks on it? Of course not. You've got to spend more time on the packaging to introduce your content to the rest of the world. Second, what about titles? With titles, not only do they need to complement your thumbnail, but you also want to make sure you have 2 or 3 extra titles ready in case you need to swap out one of them after your video launch. When I first started creating YouTube videos, I just started creating titles out of thin air. I had no idea what I was doing, and then I was surprised I wasn't getting more views. One of the best places to start finding viral title ideas is looking at the competitors in your niche. Look for what we call title conventions for their top performing videos. If you go in and look at a particular creator, and you can actually create a spreadsheet for this, you might find that many of their top performing videos had a very similar title. For example, some of my own content, some of the best videos that I've created are 5 tricks, 5 tips, 5 mistakes, 5 ways. The blueprint, you name it, these type of titles do really well. And under the psychology of my viewers, if they did well on these videos, there's a good chance it would do well in a future video. So look for these title conventions, then make modifications to fit your style and your format. After all, if it worked for creators in your niche, there's a good chance it'll work for you too, especially when you put your personal touch on it. Number 2, you're not spending anywhere near enough time selecting your ideas. Regardless of whether you're a full-time or part-time creator running your YouTube channel, you must schedule time to brainstorm and come up with ideas for your YouTube channel. Okay, so you think you don't need to do this, right? I like what Patty said about this. He said the only way that this is true is if either, number 1, you're incredibly talented and knowing exactly what your viewers want, which is very unlikely, or you've become very comfortable in getting less views than you should be, which is probably more likely. Sit down. Analyze your niche. Get to know your audience really well. Get into their head. Learn their psychology of why they like to watch your videos. What are the patterns you find when you analyze what your viewers are watching on YouTube? How can you take trending or well-known concepts and make them unique to your expertise and put your specific spin on them and watch them grow? Selecting good ideas is right up there near the top with the right type of packaging with your titles and thumbnails. Number 3, you are not spending anywhere near enough time on the first 60 seconds of your videos. I've had to learn this lesson the hard way so many times. As a YouTube creator and manager of multiple channels, it's so easy for me to go into a video, maybe 10 minutes in, and spend all this time nitpicking every little edit of the video, only to launch the video and find out that the introduction wasn't spot on, and now I got no views. What was the point? Patty said a good rule of thumb is that you should spend at least 20% of your time getting the first 60 seconds of your video dead on perfect. Why? Because this is where you keep or lose your viewers. And this critical information being sent to the YouTube algorithm will help determine whether or not it will break or make your video. A good hook, setup, authority builder, and payoff can make all the difference in not only the performance of your video, but also the difference between an amateur and a million subscriber YouTube channel. What's the point of all of this? Spend less time on all the noise and tiny details of your videos and spend way more time on the packaging. Spend way more time coming up with viral ideas. And finally, spend way more time on the first 60 seconds of your video. This is the key to simplify your strategy and grow your YouTube channel. Now, if you are using your YouTube channel to promote your business or your brand, I want to give you a free resource. Look down in the description below and I'll share with you everything you need to know to start a YouTube channel today. And if you'd like to know the secrets behind how I grew one of my law firm's revenues by more than $2 million extra per year only through my YouTube videos, check out this next video where I break it all down. See you over there.